Hey guys, welcome back to the Beginner's Guide. We are starting off halfway through. We already played through several of the games. Well, maybe not halfway through. I don't really know how far into it we are. We played through about 3 or 4 games already. This one is called The Great and Lovely Descent. So, let's get started. Okay, I guess we're headed to that house.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Right.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The Streetwise Fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Sure.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
This game is almost like it's like a love letter to gaming and to game development. Which is... I mean, the Stanley Parable kind of was about choice and... Am I not going down this? Oh, I am going down this. Ooh. Whoa. That's kind of cool. Source. Oh. 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 Why did I die? Oh. Where am I? What is happening? Oh, I'm so confused. I feel like I'm in a David Bowie movie. This is some Alice in Wonderland level nonsense. But it's kind of cool. Yeah, so I don't... It does remind me. What was that? What is this? I don't like the noises. They're making me nervous. Ah, hey! Oh, God. This is suddenly taking a turn towards Creepsville. Hey!
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Oh, hell no.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Am I going back the way I came? I don't know, this Coda person... He doesn't sound like a real person. That's why he sounds too weird and kind of like... Which, I mean, I guess there are really creative people out there who have a lot different perspectives than I do, and I'm not about to say that...
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. there's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
You have an interpretation for everything, don't you, bud? Okay. I don't know. The whole thing is, like, it's very interesting, and it's very interesting, like, discussion of games and how... Well, that's kind of creepy. You there, did you come...
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
You there, did you come from up above? What was up there? A world stamped with whiteness, an enormous prison I spent hours in, or I'm gonna go with floating colored blocks. That's the world above, you've been there. Now this is important, did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. I prefer not to tell you. Yes, I did. Literally the last thing I did. Perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. How to get to the other side. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Or trust me, you don't want to go over there. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It's the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you there is nothing I want more. I don't like these narrow hallways. They're very difficult to move through. Wait. Hell... Yes, I had to solve the puzzle to get here. Do you want... The black space between doors? Be sure to pay close attention. This is very strange. Those cube-headed men, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I understand there's not really an objective
And so
here.
we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
There's not really an objective, but I still feel like I should be doing something. Oh. Well, all right.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Really?
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
You say that, but I'm like... You sure have a pretty broad interpretation of this dude's games. Like, what do you know? Okay, we're now up to April 2009. I think he said it goes to... This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All the notes you see are left by other players. Really? 2009. Nice room. Not. Okay, it's not 1999.
So
Come
first
on.
off, I'm sure you can
How do you
deduce
beat
but
this
this
game?
game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me.
Everyone read this.
And I cooled off eventually.
Hey.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world.
I'm gonna look at all the notes because
and
I'm
then
that
I feel
person.
less lonely too.
Balls. Agree. Oh my god. Part of me wants to skip over all these, but the other part wants to... I'm just gonna walk through. There's so many. I can't go through all of them. I hope that doesn't make me a bad gamer. I don't know about all this. Ooh, that's pretty. Whoever made this has issues. Stop pretending you're other people. I'm just fascinated by this whole idea. When I played the Stanley Parable, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I ended up playing it for hours and hours and hours. And so this guy, I don't know if he's made anything else other than that.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together.
I can't
to
get it.
grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
I'm not being fast. There we go. The whispering is a little unsettling. Is that a typewriter? What the hell? It's all the typewriters. Are you... Please say something. What the hell? porn stars die too.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Hang with it. Like I have any other choice. This music. It's a little dramatic. Oh no.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway.
Why did you waste my time?
Except for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's going to start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? A giant hole in the ground. Okay, now what about along the wall of the room? A huge picture of a horse. That's not what I asked for. Live Tesla coils. I don't know why I'm saying it. It's not going to do what I asked him for. I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. Whoa. What the crap?
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Yeah, what's the point of this?
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good, now go over to the photo frame and click to turn slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Now go to the left side sofa. Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. What? I don't get it. What are we trying to accomplish here exactly?
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
What is the point?
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral.
What?
And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
All right. So dark. I don't know what the point of any of this is. This is very, very strange. Well, that's not creepy at all. Hey. Hello? Who's this? I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me. So you were trapped in this prison too.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
This is very, very strange. It's starting to get to a point where I'm just talking to myself. That's a little... I don't... This game is messing with me, man. I feel afraid that nothing will ever change.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop it there because the prison game ended up being a little longer than I anticipated. We'll come back to this soon and move on. Until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!